Hey. Good evening, folks. Hope everyone's doing really well out there. Welcome to another episode of On the Cutting Room Floor. I'm your host, Tony Ray Harvey. Yes, I am in the southwestern part of Sacramento, California, the Green Haven pocket area. Let's get down into it, because you know why I'm here. This is the Sacramento Kings interim head coach, Christie, after the game. I'll read this quote for quote, word for word. For those of you who thought it's going to be easy, it's not going to be easy. And for those who find joy in this, I have a word for you, but I won't use it. I have words for you, but I won't use it in that context. Sacramento Kings, they dropped their fourth straight tonight, second game of a back-to-back. They lose to the Phoenix Suns, 122-106 at the Phoenix Suns Arena. So, four straight. The Kings are still in ninth place in the NBA Western Conference. The Phoenix Suns, they improved to 31-36, and they are 19-13 at Phoenix Arena, and they had lost their previous two matches. As we know, the Sacramento Kings lost last night in San Francisco to the Golden State Warriors, 130-104, and yeah, it's just it's bad, folks. It really is. All three of these last losses, it's crazy. Okay, the last close game was the Clippers, a game that they had basically won to the last 90 seconds. They were up by 7, and then the world fell apart. Matter of fact, the universe fell in as well. Because after the Clippers lost, another back-to-back, you come home, you drop a game to the New York Knicks. Get a 2-day rest, then you go play the Warriors in San Francisco, you drop that game, right? On another 2-day back-to-back. Tonight, it was the Phoenix Suns. I do want to make a point of this, is talk about these last three losses, because let me put it like this. There was one point in the game, towards the end of the fourth quarter, I'm going to say, and the Suns was getting out on a break. And I think Booker had the ball, Devin Booker, for the Phoenix Suns. And he found Royce O'Neal in the corner, deep in the corner, all by him lonesome. Of course, Booker got the ball to him. Royce O'Neal got the rock up, three-pointer. There was no one around Royce O'Neal. And it has been like that for the last three games. These guys, Sacramento Kings, call it what you want to. But I see it this way. Y'all don't care to cover those three-point shooters. If they make them, they make them. That's where it's coming from. They don't. You think they're not going to make them. So there's no effort there. There's really no effort there. And what's sad about this is that this has been going on for years. This didn't start with Christie. It didn't start with Mike Brown. It didn't start with Alvin Gentry. It didn't start with Luke Walton. It didn't start with Dave Yeager. See where I'm coming from? It's been going on for years. This team just failed to defend threes. And not only that, tonight they gave up turned the ball over 19 times and gave up 38 points to the Phoenix Suns. 38 points. So before I get all into all the rest of this, let's put it like this: in the last three losses, The Sacramento Kings have given up an astonishing total of 68 of 122 three-pointers to the New York Knicks, the Golden State Warriors, and tonight, the Phoenix Suns. That's 55.7% combined with these three teams shooting out there in three-point territory. Not 40%, not 45%, certainly not 50%, 55.7%. 55.7%. The Suns made 12 three-pointers in the first half. 12. And it didn't come from the regulars. I did mention Royce O'Neal, okay? Tyus Jones, the point guard for the Suns, 6 for 6. 6 for 6. Devin Booker, 4 for 10. Bradley Beal, 4 for 7. Kevin Durant, 4 for 6. Royce O'Neal, 3 for 4. All of them was over 50% shooting. I heard on the radio show, I believe it was Damon Barley, saying something about 1 foot in the grave. Of course, I had to respond to that. It's more than 1 foot in the grave. It's 1 foot in 11th place. Kings are in 9th place in the NBA Western Conference at this point, followed by the Dallas Mavericks. The Suns move a game and a half up on the Dallas Mavericks for that 10th spot. The Kings are reeling down, all the way down. There's no guarantee that you're going to continue in the 9th spot. And if you keep going down further, with 17 games left, I believe, that the 10th spot is yours. There's no guarantee for this team. Absolutely none. I was at a point where the Kings had reached a mark, 7-4. 7-4 with Zach LaVine in the Kings uniform. 7-4. They are now 8-9 since trading for Zach LaVine. Excuse me. 8-9. 8-9. I was in San Francisco last night. I watched them play the Golden State Warriors. I saw Stephen Curry, knock down his 4,000 three-pointer in his career, the most in NBA history. Of course, the Warriors, they beat the Kings. But what stuck out to me about the Warriors, because they're 13-1 with Jimmy Butler, 13-2 overall. He didn't play a game. They lost that game, so they're really 13-1 with him in uniform, with him on the floor. They play defense. And plus, they regained the services of Jonathan Kuminga, who's been out since January 4th with a ankle sprain. He looked good last night. He had 18 points. But they play defense. They play defense. They defend the three well. They play that small ball, but they defend the three well. The Knicks, they defend the three well. Great defensive team. They had 13 steals in that game when they beat Sacramento here, Golden One. Was that Monday? Yes. The Warriors are trending up, and I do not like to say that, but they looked good last night. Stephen only scored 11 points. 11 points. Really, when you just look at this, Kevin Durant, this tonight, the Phoenix Suns, Kevin Durant had 22, Devin Booker had 22, Tyus Jones did have 20 on top of those 6 three-pointers that he hit, okay? But look at all these other guys. Ryan Dunn, 16. He was 2 for 9 for 3, but at least he was taking those threes out there. Bradley Beal, he did finish with 15 points. Osho Igodara, he had 11 points. Okay, Royce O'Neal, I did mention that. 9 points. Colin, 5 points. Colin Calif, he had 5 points. And Tyus off the bench, 20 points. Oh my goodness. They got help in other areas. No matter how you size it up. Devin Booker did have 11 assists in that game. Woo! Domantas Sabonis, he did return for the Sacramento Kings. He recorded a triple-double in a losing effort. He had 12 points, 11 rebounds, and 12 assists in 30 minutes. You know, he had been out with that hamstring injury. He had missed the last 6 games. So DeMar DeRozan had 23 points. Zach LaVine, he had 21. Malik added 18. The Kings fall to 33 and 33 on the season. They are 17 and 18 on the road. So they fall under 500 on the road. But still clinging on to 9th place in the NBA Western Conference. The Suns built up a 19-point advantage in the first quarter. They ended that quarter 36-22. They took 13 shots beyond the arc and they made 6 of them. The bench in the first quarter scored 15 points. Yes, they did. While the Kings was off to their slow start. In the second quarter, the Kings, this is the only impact on the game for the Kings at least. You know, they came back, they cut the lead 59-57 on a 3-pointer by Keegan Murray. But Durant came down and he hit a 3, so it was 62-57 at the half, at intermission. That was the Suns scoring 35-20. The Kings outscored the Suns 35-26 in that second frame. In the third frame, the Phoenix opened up with 4 straight threes. 3 by Beal. 3 threes by Beal and 1 by Durant. And they bumped the lead up to 76-63. Okay. They were able to manage an 18-point margin before the start of the fourth quarter. So they led 97-82 after 3 quarters. And they led, I think their biggest lead in the fourth quarter was 22 points. If I'm not mistaken, yes. The biggest lead was 22 points in the fourth quarter. And that one came on a basket by Dunn at the 6:52 mark of the fourth quarter. Doug Christie been working his tail off for this organization, for this team, for himself, for the coaching staff. And this is what you do to him. 3 draggings. Last 3 games. The Kings will return to Golden One Center Monday, where they will face the Memphis Grizzlies. Okay, after that, they will have the Cleveland Cavaliers, and then they will play the Chicago Bulls. All those games at G1C. They already talked about, this point in the schedule as we wind down to the end of the season, that the King was going to be walking through all type of minefields. Thus far, these last 3 games, they didn't blew up to smithereens in the last 3 games. I don't know what's left of them. I really don't. I'm not going to give up on them, though. Still time left. But you better get it together right now. You got a couple days rest. I would if I do not show up to the practice on Sunday, I will definitely be there at their shoot around on Monday. But more than likely, I probably should be there at their practice on Sunday, so we get more clear idea where they're at. They always say the right things after practice. We know this, and quite frankly, that's going to happen again. Everything depends on what you do on the court. But right now, there's a lot of stuff that's just not happening on the court. It's just not. I mean, I know Zach LaVine, you know, all the radio shows, the local radio shows, was talking about, you know, him only taking 6 shots last night against the Golden State Warriors. He knocked down 5 of them, but he played 30 minutes. You're supposed to be the man, right alongside DeMar DeRozan. Well, he was 7 for 13 tonight, 2 for 6 behind the arc. I mentioned before, he finished with 21 points. Yeah, 7 for 13 in 36 minutes. 36 minutes. They didn't get much for their bench tonight. Oh boy, what's that? 13, 16. They only got 18 points from the bench total. The whole total bench. Woo! They were just 1 point shy, or 3 point shy. 3 point shy of what the Phoenix Suns scored in the first quarter of this game, which was 15 points. No, I'm not going to give up on them. It's because there's still games left. But at this rate, you need to understand that ninth spot is not yours. You're sitting there right now, you could end up in 10th. And if you do end up in 10th, Phoenix, if they put something together, they can come back and snatch that from you. Or they could snatch it from the Dallas Mavericks and play you, the Sacramento Kings, in that first play-in game. Because remember, in the 9th or 10th spot, you have to win 2 games to get into the playoffs. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Disappointing. I expected a way better performance from our guys. Doug Christie. As we said after the game. I drove down to San Francisco last night hoping that they would win, but I knew all odds were against them. Then we already see what the results and the outcome of that game. Okay. I thought there would be a little bit more of a fight tonight, knowing that you were already on a 3-game losing streak and you were going to play somewhat of a vulnerable team in the Phoenix Suns, but that was not the case. You were just playing basketball. You did not look at it like a playoff game. There was no sense of urgency, if you ask me. Going forward, I don't know. Question came up last night about changing some things in the starting unit. We all know what that's about. Malik Monk as the starting guard. Most people think, you know, Keon Ellis should be in that starting unit. Move Malik to the bench. Malik worked his tail off to get that spot. He did. And he did fairly well tonight with the 18 points. He had 8 rebounds and 5 assists. So you can't hang it on him. You certainly can't hang it on Domantas Sabonis too, because he's been out for 6 games. So you can't hang it on him as well. But Doug gonna have to make some decisions if he wants to, you know, to go that route. It's all about winning. It's all about winning. If something does go down, whereas this team does not hold on to a play-in spot, this could go down as one of the worst seasons in Sacramento Kings era history, in my opinion. And I've been covering this team for almost a quarter of a century. I think I'm about to close out 24 years. this would be the worst. And understand this, I'm telling you, I've been through that many seasons. Yes, I went through every year since 2006, before they got back to the playoffs a couple years ago. There's only a few of us can say that. And went through all of it. And I mean, from the time that Rick Adelman was dismissed, basically, he wasn't really dismissed, okay? The Maloofs wouldn't give him another contract. So I don't even call that a firing. Just like, hey, we're done with you. No, your service is no longer needed. Thank you, Rick Adelman. And that long journey of losing and not making the playoffs started. I want to say that was April 2006. April 2006 or May 2006. It was right after the Kings were eliminated from the San Antonio Spurs. I do know that. Kevin Martin. Was that Kevin Martin? I believe Bonzi Wells was on that team. Kevin Martin, Bonzi Wells, Ron Artest. Yes. Now, this could be the worst season since 1985, since this team been here. And the reason why I say that, because of the turbulence of this season, the 2024-2025 season. All the stuff that just happened. And at one point, one shiny point, after the dismissal of Mike Brown, Doug got the team on a 7-game winning streak. So we knew right then there was a future with this team. Then he had to, do some surgical things to keep the team together after De'Aaron Fox was traded to San Antonio and the Kings acquired Zach LaVine. And then it was later to get Jonas Valanciunas and Jake LaRavia. Looked good. The defense was looking good there for a while, but now all of a sudden, I don't know. So that's the way it is. The Kings will be back at Golden One Center this Monday, where they will face the Memphis Grizzlies. And the Grizzlies are sitting in the fourth spot in the NBA Western Conference, 42-25. But they're 5-5 in their last 10 games. Okay, they're just ahead. Okay, they're just ahead of the Lakers. The Lakers have dropped a few notches. LeBron James still out. The Warriors is shooting up the charts like a bullet, 38-28. Timberwolves been doing extremely well. They done won the 7 last games. They're 39-29. The Clippers, then the Kings at 33-33. Folks, I want to thank you for stopping in for another episode of On the Cutting Room Floor. I'm your host, Tony Ray Harvey. I will be back at some point, but I do want to ask you to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't, been here or have been here. We really would appreciate that. But thanks for stopping in and listen to what I got to say. Listen to my digital commentary, editorials, and everything's cool. But right now, it's time to fade up out of here. Peace.